Welcome back to the Social Experiment with Sunny and Shay.
Now, we've been asking for you to give us your thoughts, so do go to Twitter. The hashtag is SOCEXP. Today, we have been talking about the topic of faith and also mixed relationships and marriages. Now, just before we went to the break, Miss Orange, you raised a very interesting point. You said, okay, if both people are from the same faith, but from a different culture, we should be more accepting. You used the example of Pakistani and Bangladeshi. Different cultures, although, as you're right, both from South Asia. What's your perspective on this, Miss Red? Because nowadays, you could, for example, have a Somalian Muslim marrying with a Pakistani Muslim. What's your thoughts?
I personally know people who have actually married, like my friend had married a Pakistani guy, so it has been successful and stuff. Mm-hmm. But personally, I feel like Bengalis in general, like I don't feel like they're as accepting, like culture-wise, mm-hmm. to other people. Like we have the caste system as well. Like forget talking about culture. Like caste itself is like an issue in the Bengali culture. I think
I think that's a very fair point. It's a caste, when we talk about caste, you can have that even within Gujaratis, within Punjabis. If you were to look at India or even South Asia in general, Pakistan, caste is an element that I think you are absolutely right, and we need to bring it into the discussion. Mr. Green, what's your point on that? What do you think about that? If you're from the same background, but you're different castes, we've had that, Sunny and I, if you're not aware, we are actually both from the same background, same religions, from the same cities, but we are different caste, and in the past we did have issues. So what's your perspective on that?
Miss Red is definitely right on that. Most of the issues are within religion, caste, and that side of the stuff. I mean, it's not. I agree with Miss
Orange.
Yeah, yes. I agree with Miss Orange. Marrying a Bengali, you can even marry a Somalian, mm-hmm. same faith, just different cultures. I mean, culture's not much harder to handle.
What do you
to accept.
If you've had centuries and centuries of marrying in the same caste, and then it all changes?
That's again the people, let's say generations above us or before us, mm-hmm. the certain rules, certain way of living, never used to change for a very long time. It's like a royal family or royals, mm-hmm. stick to royals, and it's like one sort of tradition, and it's passed down, so on and so. And with the modern society now, it's just very diverse, and so many different cultures and religions are introduced and interacting with each other through work, socializing, social media, everything.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to people who are saying that you are betraying your culture, number one, and also taking your back on certain traditions that are passed down to you? I'll give you that, Mr. Green, and then we'll go to Mr. Blue after that.
He's shaking his head.
Yeah, so repeat that question again.
So basically, what do you say to people who are saying that you are forgetting your culture, your roots, and as a result, you are watering down what you've been taught for generations, for millennia in your family?
Firstly, you gotta come to think of what's more important to you.
Okay.
Culture or religion?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's religion.
Okay.
So if I feel like I'm really strict with my religion, I'm actually studying a lot, I'm educating myself a lot, mm-hmm. on my own religion, then culture wouldn't really be as important to me.
Okay.
So if I even made a few mistakes in upsetting a few people, mm-hmm. maybe family members, through cultural problems or whatever, mm-hmm. as long as it's not religious, because that's more to me, mm-hmm. It's more...
It's your personal journey.
Yeah, it's personal, it'll hurt me, mm-hmm. and that's more important to me.
Mr. Blue?
The whole caste thing is just, to me, I think it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And it's absolutely no offence to anyone. I just feel it's silly. I mean, I think like Mr. Green said, with today's society, it's getting a lot more diverse. Mm-hmm. But as you two just mentioned, with the whole being from the same background but having a different caste, like, to me, I just think that's silly, because then the way I've experienced it in my family, well, not necessarily my family, but from friends and so on.
Yeah.
I've seen families look at other families like they're superior,
right.
although they're from the same country, they're the same religion, and they have the same beliefs. Mm-hmm. So, do you know what I mean? And I've heard horrible nicknames for different types of castes.
Yeah.
To me, that is that's another thing that baffles me. Yeah.
Right.
I'm quite baffled sometimes. I don't. It just doesn't. The whole caste thing doesn't make sense. Culture is absolutely fine. For my view on things, I say I'm Muslim myself.
Yeah.
Muslim, marrying a Muslim, that's cool. You can be Somalian, Bangladeshi,
Yeah, say
Shamama,
religion.
anything. You can be, you can be an alien. I don't care. If you're Muslim, you're Muslim. You know what I mean?
It's more.
But that's just for me, obviously, because I'm personally Muslim.
Mr. Green seems to agree quite a lot on this. What
Extensive.
about the ladies?
Like I said,
yeah.
it comes to the fact that what's more important to you. As soon as you
See,
know
it's
what's
funny
more
that you guys are
important-
saying this, because if you were to take the same religion and you go to an Arab country,
Yeah.
the way they perceive their religion and how they practice it is totally different to someone in India and in Asia. For example, if you women, for example, in the Arab countries aren't allowed to drive, they don't have a vote. And they
Okay.
have to have a husband.
Can I just
There
jump
you-
in there?
So I'm just saying, culturally, you're saying that they're Muslim, but culturally they're different.
Okay, can I jump in?
Yeah, please.
Okay, that's not all Arabic countries.
Okay.
I used to live in the UAE. I used to live
Yeah.
in Dubai.
Tell me,
and,
enlighten me.
No, that's the whole thing about women not driving.
Yes.
That's not. That's
That
not
doesn't
true.
happen?
No, I mean, I think that was in Saudi Arabia, but I
Right.
think they've just lifted that. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely not in Dubai. You see Dubai in Ferrari, women in Ferraris, so it's
Yeah,
definitely not
that's
the
fine.
case.
Yeah, it's certain parts. Yeah, go on.
And in terms of culture
Mhm.
differences from different countries, but both being Islamic, yeah, you're definitely right about what you're saying in terms of like everything works a bit differently.
Yeah.
Even
And isn't that where the adjustment is? When someone is used to doing something traditionally in a different way culturally, like say for example, let's take it to the basics. Say your family believes in before you come to the house, you would have to put some oil before you walk into the house, all right? No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying it's no religion here, I'm just talking about cultural,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So someone from the same religion, coming from a different part of the world,
Yeah.
says, I don't believe in that, and they walk straight into the house, and which offends your family. So as a result, culturally, you already have this difference and this sort of like, I
But
guess,
then-
Can we
conflict.
get Miss Red and also Miss Orange involved
Yeah,
in this
I
as
think Miss
well?
Orange. I'm just going to bring you in as soon as Mr. Blue just finished his point.
Also, just said, but then that just comes down to the relationship between the guy and the woman, right?
Is it?
Listen, if they're really, really, really in love,
Yeah.
and they know that the potential drama and
Yeah.
political issues there are going to be behind what they're doing, if they're different culture or different religion or whatever it is,
Right.
Then if they've really got each other's back and they're at the stage where they want to get married, getting married is not a joke. Although unfortunately divorce is extremely frequent, and that has definitely changed a lot from back in the day. But
Well, isn't that because
not-
the women have more of a voice now?
Possibly, but I don't know. That's going on to sexism. I'm not going to talk on that.
Okay, fair enough.
But then I'm just talking about like in terms of two people really having a connection. If they know, right, that they want to get married, right, that's a massive step. That's
Mhm.
potentially that is being with each other for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
Let's
okay?
bring in, if we can for a moment, Miss Red. What do you think about this? And then we'll ask Miss Orange as well. What's your perspective?
Generally, I feel like our religion is like indiscriminative. Like the main problem is actually with culture. Like if you have a proper like practicing family, there'd be no issues with like bringing a different culture in or bringing a different religion in, to be
Mhm.
honest. But then when you consider culture over religion, then that's when the issue comes. Like well, that's what I think personally. Like I think when you bring different cultures or like different religions, it's based on like whether they're like it's actually based on the family and what the way you've been brought up by your family and
Mhm.
what you think and stuff.
100%.
What do you say to that, Miss Orange?
I say to really think of it in a positive light, we should not be thinking about all this negativity and, the families and, I mean...
Are we placing too much on what the family thinks rather than just thinking about the two individuals that are getting married and have to live their lives together?
The thing is, the families are thinking about society,
Yeah.
and as Miss Red was saying, I mean, okay, I mean, I don't know, I just feel like, as Mr. Blue was saying, sorry, if the two couples were really definitely in love with each other and definitely wanted to get married with each other, then we would have discussed beforehand the rituals and
Yeah.
said about the old thing. They
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have discussed about it
Right.
beforehand, and the woman would have had time to maybe say yes, maybe say no, that without offending the family of the grooms,
It goes both ways, doesn't it?
Definitely, honestly, we just need to strip it all back, think of it all in a positive light.
Nice.
What would benefit?
I like
both
I like the way you look at the world, Miss Orange.
The thing
Yeah.
is, there's too
In a
much
positive
negative people in this world, and it makes me very annoyed.
You know what? We can hear that in your voice.
Really.
In the next part of the show, the final part of the show, our actual participants are going to get to meet each other as the blindfolds will come off.
We'll be back right after these short messages.